The next year of your life is going to pass you by whether you like it or not, but where do you want to be when it does? A new year is another chance to grow, to change, and to create the life that you've always wanted. But here's the hard truth. Nothing changes if nothing changes. And if you're feeling stuck, you're feeling overwhelmed, or even a little disappointed in yourself, it's totally okay, and no, you're not alone. Because what if I told you that next year could be the year that everything changes? And not because of some perfect plan, but because you actually decided to take the time to reset, refocus, and take back control. It's time to break free from those patterns that have kept you stuck and actually unlock the goals that you have been working so hard towards. In this video, we are going to hit the reset button together, and I'm going to take you through the exact steps to take for an intense life reset so that you can go into 2025 feeling better than ever and make it the best one yet. Now, I don't want you to get overwhelmed with this. Just take it one step at a time and make sure you're doing each step with intention. And I know it can feel like a time crunch, especially with it being a little before the new year, but honestly, it doesn't matter. Even if you're watching this after the new year or very close to the start of the new year, just as long as you are taking your time, putting intention and purpose into each step, it's okay if it goes into the new year, because the more thoroughly and intentionally you do these things, the better the reset's going to be and set you up for even more success. So it's time to let go of the things that did not work, redefine your path, and head into 2025 better, stronger, and clearer than ever before. Let's make 2025 the year that you've been dreaming of, starting right now. Now, before we can start planning for the new year, we need to reflect on the past one. So grab a piece of paper or your favorite notebook and find a quiet space where you can do this with intention. I want you to give yourself space to reflect, not to judge, not to criticize, but just to understand. This is absolutely not about beating yourself up for what didn't happen or what you didn't do. This is about gaining the clarity and the insight that you need to make 2025 even better. We're looking at both the wins and also the lessons, but we're gonna start with your accomplishments, no matter how small they may seem. Even if you didn't hit every or any goal that you set for yourself, there were moments this year where you were very proud of yourself for something that you accomplished, whether you planned on accomplishing that thing or not. And those count. Do not discount those moments because they're just as important. So really think back to these moments where you felt a sense of pride and joy. What did you accomplish? Write it down and own it. We often focus so much on what didn't happen or what we didn't do that we take away from the powerful things that we did do. And trust me, even the smallest victories matter. And think about the habits and the routines, the things that you were doing during these times where you felt the sense of pride and joy. What were those things that contributed to your success? What mindset helped push you through in those moments? Take note of all of this because this is the fuel that you're going to carry into the new year. An example for me is I mentioned in my previous video about how much more productive and how much in a better mindset I am whenever I'm reading nonfiction books. As much as I love my fiction, I am so much more productive and just getting more things done and more motivated when I'm reading nonfiction. So I know that the moments where I have seen a lot more progress in different areas of my life, that was a consistent habit I was doing during those times. So I know that maybe that's a habit I need to incorporate into my 2025 goals and plan, is making sure that I am reading nonfiction so that I'm keeping my mindset sharp, I'm keeping myself motivated, because I know that's just how I work, and that's just something that I can gain from my own reflection. So just really think about the things that you were doing, what you were listening to, what were you reading, were you exercising every day? Just try to think about these things and notice the constant within those moments where you had those accomplishments and carry that into 2025. This whole process is about building your confidence and proving to yourself that you are so much more capable than what you give yourself credit for. It's about how your habits and your actions have aligned with what truly matters to you. Reflecting on your wins helps you see what goals are in alignment with your values, which is going to help you make even better decisions in the future. Now, let's get real. What challenges did you face this year? Think about how you kept going and how you pushed through those setbacks. And if there's one that maybe you didn't push through the way you wanted or didn't deal with it the way that your ideal self would, just take that as a lesson and apply that to the future and to this next year and really learn from that. Don't feel bad about it, because I know I've had situations where I am disappointed in the way I reacted or handled a situation. That's okay. You're human. Just take that lesson and apply it moving forward. And lastly, let's think about the areas where we can improve. Don't beat yourself up here. Remember, we are gathering insight. When something didn't work, that probably is a sign that it's not in alignment with your goals or your true priorities. And that's okay. It's not about doing everything. It's about doing the things that do truly align with you. We are not here to waste time on things that do not serve us. Because remember, it's about building a life that feels purposeful and aligned. Now it is time to set our goals for the new year. This is honestly a part of the reset that both excites me but also overwhelms me at the same time, and that is totally okay. So I really like to break my goals up into categories. I usually do health, wealth, and spiritual, but you can break up your goals into different categories based on what resonates with you, or no categories if you don't want to. What I like to do is I like to look at my goals quarterly, so within 12-week increments, because I feel like it's just a lot more digestible that way. But these quarterly goals have to align with one bigger goal. So I'll have my 1-year goal and I'll break that down into each quarter of the year. So for example, if my yearly goal was to have 30K subscribers by the end of 2025, then my 12-week goal for the first quarter of the year would be to hit 13.5K subscribers. So this planning method is called the 12-week year, and I can link a video above of where I've talked about it in the past. But I just love that way of planning so much, because it's taking your year, instead of measuring it within 12 months, you're measuring it within 12 weeks. A 12-week time frame creates a way bigger sense of urgency and helps me stay focused rather than just looking at the entire 12 months. With a 12-month goal, it is way easier to get distracted and just feel like there's plenty of time, and then you just end up pushing off your goals and pushing off your goals, and then before you know it, it's fall, and then it's ending the fall, going into the winter, and you feel the pressure of the next year rolling around, and you don't feel like you've accomplished anything. But with 12 weeks, you are constantly motivated because the deadline is just around the corner. You don't have an entire 12 months to get this thing done, because within a 12-week span, that 12 weeks is your 1 year. But every single day within that 12 weeks is equivalent to 1 week, so every day counts. It's a way to just keep making continuous steps towards your bigger goals. I'll make sure to link the video that I talked about the 12-week year above again, but truly it has been my absolute favorite way to set goals. When you're setting your goals, you also want to make sure that they are measurable so you can actually see the progress that you're making. It becomes a lot easier to break them down into smaller, achievable steps whenever they're measurable. So instead of saying, I want to be healthier, you can say, I will work out 3 times a week for the next 12 weeks. So now you have something very specific to measure, and you can see how much progress you made by seeing how often you hit those 3 sessions a week. It's so much easier to look at it like this because it makes the goal more tangible instead of really vague, and helps you actually measure the progress to see how much closer you're getting to that bigger goal. You also do not want to overthink this. There's a term in business called KISS, and it stands for Keep It Simple Stupid. The simpler your goals are, the more achievable they will become. The KISS principle just helps you to remember to not make these things complex and just focus on the essentials, focus how it contributes to the bigger vision, because sometimes we can make the mistake of making goals just too broad, too complicated, or just make it where we end up juggling way too much at one time. And then whenever our goals are unclear, we start to lose focus, we become overwhelmed, and just tend to push them off and never reach them. But when your goals are simple, It is much more manageable and you know exactly what you're aiming for. This is going to give you so much more room to execute because you have that clarity. So stop overcomplicating your goals and just focus on making consistent, intentional progress. Simplicity allows you to stay clear on your priorities and stay motivated by not getting distracted by a million different things that just don't matter. And remember, you clicked on this video because you are ready to reset and refocus so that you can gain more change, clarity, and take control over the year ahead. And in order to do that, we have to put these goals into action. We are all about action around here, and instead of making a vision board for these goals, we're going to make an action board. I mentioned an action board in my How to Level Up in 2025 video, but basically it is just like a vision board, but instead of focusing solely on the goals, it focuses on the actions that'll also take you to those goals. You make it just like you do a vision board. You can find images on Pinterest or wherever you find your inspiring pictures. That's just what I use and I enjoy scrolling through. Don't get me wrong, a vision board is amazing to make. It's just, I've made them in the past, and yes, I love making them, they inspire me, but I just can't help feeling this gap sometimes between me and the goals on the board, and that's just natural. We're human, and yes, you're supposed to look at those goals and really embody the feeling of having those goals, but sometimes whenever you're in the thick of it, it's really hard to do that, and it does take practice. But what I love so much about an action board is you have your goals, you have that inspiration, but you also have the action that gets you to those end results. And a lot of the times whenever you are in the thick of it, you're having a really crappy day, you just don't know what to do to get towards your goals, and you feel like you're just stuck in the mud. If you look at your action board, you should have smaller actions and bigger actions on there so that whenever you see it, you can see something you can do right then and there that'll take you a step closer to your goals. The goals for an action board are typically shorter term also than a vision board. A vision board is usually, at least for me, I do about a year out, but an action board is more so around 3 to 6 months. So like I said, I put small actions and big actions on mine. Small actions are things that you can look at that board and you can go do that thing right then and there. So say one of your goals is to be more spiritually aligned. You can see on the board that you can go do a meditation. You can go journal. Those are small actions you can do right then and there, and that small action is something that will compound into that bigger goal. And there's also big actions that you can put on your board too, and big actions are things that will happen within like a week or so. So for instance, for me, I want to be more emotionally regulated. Your emotions are incredibly crucial when creating your reality because you can believe something all you want, but if you are not feeling that emotion, it's not gonna matter because your emotions create your personality creates your personal reality. So if you can't master your emotions, it's going to be very difficult to ever manifest anything. So that's something that I really am working to master is my emotional regulation. So something that's a big action I can do to do that is to track my mood. This is something I can do over the course of a week, and I can track and see when I started to dip, what made me feel like I was going to dip into a more negative state, what made me feel really good, what kept me in a great mindset, and just see the consistencies. And that's an action I can take towards becoming more of a master of my emotions. I just love being able to see all the dots connect on an action board. It just is so amazing. You also can put motivational quotes and just inspiring sayings on there so that you just feel that kick of motivation, you see the action you need to take, and you see what that action will get you. So you can see on mine, I basically did about 3 different goals. I probably wouldn't do more than 3 just because you don't want to overwhelm yourself. So for YouTube, my goal is to hit 10,000 subscribers within 12 weeks. And I just put some visuals of someone actually editing a YouTube video, setting up the camera, just things that I can visually see that need to be done in order to hit those 10,000 subscribers. And you can put little checklists on here. So like I did, I put about like scripting, filming, editing. I also wrote write talking points because I know that that's just, I get my inspiration from listening to podcasts and reading books. So I know that whenever I see that is just something I need to continuously do, or if I feel like I'm not coming up with any video ideas to just go get some inspiration. I also have my health goals, which is to be fit with a very healthy gut. So I put up a picture of some immunity shots because I do batch our immunity shots, and that's a big part in gut health for me as well because there's just anti-inflammatory properties, antioxidants. I also put my Stanley on there, which is my actual picture, because I want to remember to stay hydrated. And then I also put a picture of some healthy groceries and just some healthy food items just to get me motivated and inspired to see like, okay, if I eat like this, then as I look over, you can see I put fitness pictures as well of just the physique that I'm aiming for, and you can see a picture of someone stretching because I want to stretch daily. So these are just, as you can see, like the pictures of the actions and the goals, and just the things that, to remind you of the things you can do right now to get to those goals. My spiritual goal is to master my emotional regulation. So at the top you can see where I'm reading books, I'm journaling, and it's just a way to remind me like, okay, these are the things you can do. I also put my little checklist on those areas too. I try to keep the action board, like I try to put the goals clustered together and put the checklist of things that I need to do within those little categories, and just is a really great visual and a great reminder for me whenever I look at this, especially whenever I'm having a really bad day. That's something really important to keep in mind when you're designing your action board, is design it in a way where if you're having a really crappy day, in a way where you can look at it and immediately get some motivation and spark you into taking some action towards those goals. I do think that there is an incredible amount of power whenever you take a vision board or an action board and you make it from digital to physical. So I did print this out and I just put it on my desk, and I'm so motivated every time I walk by my desk. That's where I do work, so it's just a really great spot for me to keep it. And I just found a really inexpensive frame, and I'm just really happy to have it actually physically. And I also think it's important to keep it digital. Make it your desktop on your laptop, make it your wallpaper on your phone, make it everywhere you're going to see it, and that is going to keep you inspired and just keep you focused. So when it comes to achieving your goals, one of the most powerful things that you can have aside from an action board is a solid planning system. A planning system is your roadmap to success. It's going to help guide you through each step and keep you on track. But what even makes a good planning system? And it's something that's going to align with your lifestyle, your goals, and your rhythm. You just want a system that's going to help you break these goals into actionable steps. This could be a daily planner, it could be a weekly to-do list, it can be a digital planning software like Notion, which I love, or it could just be a combination of a few things. Personally, for my planning, I use a combination of a physical planner and I also use Notion. So I love having an actual planner that I can write things down in and carry with me places, but I also love Notion and how it just syncs to my laptop and it syncs to my phone. So just having a combination of both just really works for me. But ultimately, it's about what's going to work for you and what can you be consistent with. Not gonna lie, I also really love just getting a new planner at the beginning of every year. It just feels like a fresh start, and I just love stationery, so there's something about a fresh, crisp planner that I just love. And this year I decided to get a day designer, which yes, it's an investment, but it honestly just fit perfectly for what my current needs are as far as like organizing my day and my to-do list and working towards my goals. And that obviously changes quite a bit. So this is just what is going to work for me at this time in my life. I just think it's worth the investment because I know that it's going to push me so much closer to the goals that I want. So this is actually a planner I used back in high school, and it was my favorite planner still to this day that I've ever used. And that was over 10 years ago. So I just really love this planner. So find something that you really love to use every day that's going to be effective for your lifestyle and is going to help you stay organized so you can stay focused. So set aside time each week or each month and just make sure that the system that you have is working, and if for some reason it's not, then just make the according adjustments that you need, and also make sure you're actually checking in with your planner multiple times a day. I can't even tell you that if I have a planner that I don't really like, that's not really working, or I'm kind of lacking on motivation, that I will write in it, maybe, if I'm lucky, if I'm like if I can get myself to write in it, and then I close it and I don't look at it again. Do not do that because that will not do anything for you. So make sure you are checking in with your planner morning, midday, and at night and before bed. Katie's here now with us, resetting for 2025. She's excited. So I make a to-do list the night before. I'll check it in the morning and just kind of get a really good feel for the day, and then just keep checking it, and as I go throughout the day, check things off and just make sure I'm staying on track throughout the day instead of making the list, closing it, and then not touching my planner for days at a time. I'm guilty of that, and it's just not good to do. So do not do that. Make sure it's a system where you feel like you can be consistent and use it all the time. A good planning system does not have to be complex. The simpler it is, the more effective it will be. Make your planning system work for you by focusing on what truly matters, which are your most important goals and the steps to get there. A simple, clear structure is going to give you a lot more space for creativity and productivity and keep you from getting overwhelmed. And whenever you have a planning system, it's no longer just getting through the day. It's about being intentional with your time, making progress, and setting yourself up for success. So take a moment to create a planning system for yourself, because creating a plan is the first step in turning your dreams into your reality. When it comes to achieving your big goals, your healthy habits are the silent powerhouses that make it all possible. Your healthy habits have to be non-negotiables in your routine, and they need to embody that version of yourself that you're becoming. You can't move forward into a new identity or a new version of you if you're just holding on to the old one. And think about it, every successful person has some sort of daily routine or habit that's kept them focused and has helped them get that success. Whether it's waking up early, practicing gratitude, exercising, these habits don't just keep them grounded. They fuel their progress towards their goals. Healthy habits will truly create the foundation for your success. Small, consistent actions over time compound and build momentum that will push you forward towards these bigger goals. They improve your overall mindset and your energy, which is going to be literally a game changer whenever you're working to really achieve these big things that you want out of life. And if you're feeling sluggish and unmotivated and negative most of the time, you're probably not gonna get any closer to your goals. When your body is truly taken care of, whether it's eating right, exercising, or getting enough sleep, you can perform at your best. You'll have the energy to tackle your to-do list. You'll have the mental clarity to make decisions and the resilience to just keep going whenever you hit an obstacle. And here's the thing, healthy habits make your goals feel more sustainable. It's so easy to get overwhelmed when thinking about your big dreams, but if you're able to break these down into smaller, manageable habits, it makes it so much more achievable. Plus, I really do believe in being in the energy to hold those manifestations. So if you're doing your healthy habits, you're keeping your energy and your frequency high, the universe will reward you with more of that energy, and therefore you'll be able to hold the manifestations of your goals even more. The steady progression is what makes success feel less daunting and more like a natural outcome. And each time you stick to a habit, that's only going to build your self-confidence and prove to yourself that you have the ability to follow through. So the more you follow through on your habits, the more you'll believe in yourself and in the process, because they compounded and compounded into you achieving the big goals that you set for yourself. So if you're serious about hitting your goals, take a hard look at your habits. Are they in alignment with where you want to go? Are they helping you move closer to your vision, or are they holding you back? And do not overwhelm yourself. Start with one habit at a time and build from there, because they truly do fill the gap between where you are now and where you want to be. We also need to set our environment up for success. If you want to achieve your goals and build lasting habits, your environment plays a bigger role than what you think. So we need to set it up in a way that is going to reflect our highest self. Our environment directly affects our focus, our mindset, and our motivation. Have you ever noticed how much more productive you feel in a clean, organized space? Or how a cluttered room can just make you feel overwhelmed and distracted? That's because our environment has the power to either support or sabotage our progress. The first thing we need to do when setting our environment up for success is to eliminate all of the distractions. So we need to do a deep clean and a declutter. This is the perfect time of the year to bring in fresh new energy and just have a clean, organized space. Get rid of the things that no longer serve you. Start with things that you haven't touched in a while, whether it's your closet, maybe a particular junk drawer, your pantry, your bathroom closet, under your bathroom sink, like just these places you haven't visited in a while that might need a little TLC. Those are the places you want to start. Now this can get pretty overwhelming, but you can break it up over the course of multiple days. So say for one day you do the pantry for 30 minutes, and then the next day you do your junk drawer for 30 minutes. Just remember, you are not a passive participant in your surroundings. You have the power to shape your environment to align with your goals. When you set your space up for success, you're giving yourself the best chance possible to stay focused, stay motivated, and to keep making progress towards the life that you want to create. Not only should we declutter our physical environment, but we should also do a digital declutter. So grab your phone, grab your laptop, and let's start decluttering that mess. Make it fun though. Turn on some music, get a nice cup of coffee or just a cozy tea or something and just have at it, because those being cluttered can have the same effect as our environment being cluttered. A cluttered phone, a messy desktop, or a full inbox can just create so much more overwhelm and really just kill your productivity. For example, for me, there is nothing worse whenever I'm editing a video and I haven't cleaned out the downloads in quite some time and the program is just slow, the video doesn't want to export, I don't have enough storage, and it's just such a headache, and it doesn't have to be. That's why I made it an essential step to resetting for the new year, because you don't need to make something harder than it has to be. If your computer is cluttered, if your phone is cluttered, just take some time, set a timer, do it in increments if you have to, and just start getting off the things that you don't need, because storage issues are really annoying, and having to solve these issues later when you're trying to do these other tasks, instead of going ahead and being proactive and eliminating the having to deal with that obstacle, it's honestly gonna make the biggest difference. So take the time to go through your emails, unsubscribe from newsletters you don't want anymore, maybe block certain emails that you don't want emailing you. You can even declutter your social media, unfollow accounts that just don't make you feel good, that don't inspire you, maybe that get on your nerves. Just clear out any accounts that don't add value to your life. You wanna be really intentional whenever you're curating your feed, so that whenever you do go on these apps, you don't leave them feeling negative or just bad about yourself. You want them to inspire you and make you feel motivated and just show you what's possible. You can also take this as an opportunity to change your wallpaper, change your icons on your phone. I know before we talked about making our action board the desktop wallpaper or a phone wallpaper, because here's the thing, we are in a very tech-driven world, and most likely, whether it's school, a side hustle, or your job, you do have to interact with technology. So why not make those moments actually inspirational and make them uplifting instead of making them a drag and distracting? Now that we have decluttered our physical space and digital space, let's declutter our finances. Taking control of your finances is one of the most powerful things you can do whenever you are working towards your goals. I recently found this budget book off of Amazon, and it has been so helpful. I'll make sure to link it in the description box below, but it has been such a game changer in helping us track our money and really see how to divvy up our money so that we're saving and that we are not overspending in a certain aspect of our lives. A budget is truly a blueprint for your goals and also a reflection of your priorities. Without a budget, it is so easy to let money just slip through your fingertips and not realize where in the world it's going. So again, take a moment, reflect on this past year. What worked for you financially? What did not work for you financially? Did you meet your savings goals? Did you have a lot of unexpected expenses this year? Again, you just want to use this as insight to where you can improve and carry that into the new year. It's not about beating yourself up, it's just about seeing what we can do better. So start by writing your income and then go ahead and write your expenses. And whenever you write your expenses, If it's like a recurring bill, write the date that it comes out. Then you can categorize your money from there and just kind of see what is your bills, how much are your groceries, and then maybe like a little fun budget where you can go splurge on an outfit or go out to dinner or just do something fun with those funds. But it helps you see exactly how much your bills are. It makes you see how much you're spending on your groceries, because I know that's an area that can easily be overspent, at least for us. And then you can also see that you do have maybe a little bit of wiggle room to buy that outfit or go buy a book or just something fun for yourself. But it just is going to help you gauge where you are and help you get to where you want to go. I personally kind of like to think of my dollars as little soldiers. So I feel like I'm building an army and each dollar is a soldier and each soldier has a mission. This is going to help you really break down your financial goals into smaller actionable steps. So let's say you want to save $12,000 this next year. That's $1,000 a month, which breaks down into $33 a day. So you can see how breaking down the numbers like this just makes it a lot more feasible to hit, because you're able to break it down into these bite-sized pieces. And it just makes the target so much clearer to hit. And whenever you are tracking your progress and you're seeing you take these strides, it's just gonna make you more motivated. And by simplifying and streamlining your budget, you're just making more opportunity for growth. Life is unpredictable and a budget doesn't have to be rigid, but you do need to make sure that the guidelines of it are still working for your current needs. And kind of like planning, you just want to revisit it and make sure that your system is still working and adjust where needed. And just remember, every step, no matter how small, is progress. Because remember, we are starting 2025 with intention. This is your year to reset and reclaim your financial freedom. So those are my steps for an intense life reset for 2025. And it doesn't have to just be 2025, it can be literally any year. But I know this time of year, between the holidays and just the pressure of a new year and wanting to hit the gas pedal on your goals, it can all feel very chaotic and very overwhelming. So I hope this video was able to break it down for you and make it where you can see clear, actionable steps to take to have an amazing year, because I know you can do it, and I'm so excited to see you create the life of your dreams and hit all of your goals. But if this video did help you out, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe down below so that I know. And I am so excited to take on this next year with you, and I hope you're enjoying this cozy holiday season. So thank you so much for watching and for being here, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.